Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Your video is about to start. I wanted to remind you of our newer Wednesday, 1 p.m. live stream Q&A on all things Social Security. Visitors are welcome to post a question in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer it. It's on a first come, first serve basis, so please get there on time. Otherwise, if you care to be a member and get some different kinds of perks, feel free to click the join button below or just click it to learn about them. Anyway, I hope to see you Wednesday. If not, enjoy the video. Bye now. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. I am putting together a kind of a standard document here in the office that's going to be used on every single case, probably multiple times, but I always like to have something in my letters that tell the SSA staffer, whoever's got it, that I'm the attorney, I'm appointed. I do not really give permission for you to contact my client directly. That's why they hired me to be the intervening barrier, in addition to helping them out. So everything goes through me, and they're not stressing over getting a phone call or having to call an adjudicator or an SSA staffer. There are rare exceptions when something sometimes does have to happen, rarer, but generally speaking, I always, tell my clients, if you get a phone call, let it go to your voicemail, give me the information, and I will call the person back on your behalf. It's much more, it's safer, it reduces stress, which in probably 100% of my clients, stress is a negative factor to their condition, whether it's physical or mental. And it just, in a small, if not greater way, defeats the purpose of having retained a representative who they're going to be paying later, right? So, why should they be paying for me, for them to have to do the callbacks to the SSA or the DDS? And aside from the fact that sometimes, and I know this is probably rare, however, I've seen it too many times to not that it is not completely unusual. Sometimes it's a sneaky little avenue to get quick information in the manner in which they want it, as opposed to the more accurate manner in which I would be presenting it. So that's why they sometimes go to the claimant. Not usually. Usually it's I know they're trying to be expedient and get things done. I know sometimes we representatives don't call them the moment that they call, or don't call them back because we're in court or we're working on other work in a workshop, whatever we might be doing, in an interview, in a meeting, whatever. But they need to give ample time and let us get back to them. And of course, oftentimes when you call them, well, I should say they don't leave the substance of their question when they leave a message. They just say, I need to talk to you. Well, that's really not efficient, because 99% of the time, had they left the details of what they sought, one could call them back and give it to the voicemail if that's what we get, which is what tends to be. And then there's this tag that then slows up the case, which again is not fair to the claimant. So here is the POMS section specifically that directs that once there is an appointed representative, attorney or non-attorney rep, the SSA is supposed to be contacting the representing person instead of the claimant. So here we go. This is under POMS. This is GN 03910-050. Contacting a represented claimant. So in A, they say when we may contact a represented claimant directly. And they say generally, and I'm quoting here, when a claimant has an appointed representative, we will communicate directly with the representative and not the claimant. They go on to say, however, we may contact the claimant directly if, and I'm just numbering these because they're in bullet fashion, the representative asks us to deal directly with the claimant, and they give a direct link to another GN with regard to that. 2, the claimant who is alleging blindness or visual impairment elects to receive notices by first-class mail with a follow-up telephone call from us to read the notices to him or her. Okay, that sounds quite reasonable. Rare, but reasonable. 3, the contact relates to a possible violation of the rules of conduct and standards of responsibility for representatives. And they give an associated additional link to that. That's never happened. So 21 years, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. There is an indication that a representative's appointment may have ended, but the information in our records is unclear or insufficient. Totally reasonable. 5, there's ambiguity about the scope of representation. That would be reasonable too. I would say that would be exceedingly rare because most of us use the 1696 as well as the 1693, although I do not think that has much to do with the scope of representation. So I've certainly never seen that in 21 years, but okay, that sounds appropriate. If they've had some sort of indication, that's fine. And the last one, there are multiple representatives appointed, and it is not clear who is currently appointed or who is the principal representative. And they give an example for this. The claimants appointed 2 representatives at different times, and the representatives do not appear to be working together. In this instance, we will contact the claimant directly to clarify the situation, meaning the situation as to who is your primary or only representative. So there you have it. That is the only time they list when they may contact a represented claimant directly. Otherwise, which is the general practice, they are not to communicate directly with the claimant, only through the representative, unless one of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what was it, 6 exceptions exist, none of which ever exist in my practice. I never have. So this little gizmo here is going to replace the current language I have in all of my SSA field office directed letters that as soon as I get involved, it states that it's all to go through me. Now, this is also going to go, I think, on every other letter now, because adjudicators don't seem to look at the intake stuff. I guess once they just see that the field office appointed, they don't really look at anything else. And we do have it kind of ad hoc in other letters, but I'm going to just make it part of the background noise of every letter. All right, I just wanted to share that with you because I'm doing it right now. And this can help if there's maybe representatives who are unaware, could be new, or just could be that you didn't know because this is kind of out there and you happen to care about whether your claimant gets contacted by the SSA circumventing you. You can use it, you know. I don't know how you would enforce it. I suppose one could complain and do a written complaint, and I'm not against doing that. I've done that a time or two in my 21 years. I know there are a lot of my colleagues who do not want the SSA to call them the representative, but want them to go directly to the claimant. I find that bizarre, but to each its own. Okay, and each claimant can choose what kind of representative they have. All right, ciao for now. Just thought I'd share that. Bye, guys. Thank you for joining and taking a listen to this video. If you have any questions that relate to this or anything else with regard to Social Security, disability, retirement, SSI, etc., please do feel free to post it in the comments below, even if it's not necessarily related to this video. And I will see them. And if it's something I can do a video on, I will be happy to do that. If you are looking for representation in a current battle to prove that you are disabled, whether you have applied yet or not, and ideally, if you have not applied yet, that's when we like to come in and start from the beginning and do our wonders. You can go to joydisability.com, look up to your left, and there's a little link for a free SSD evaluation, and we will take a look at it and let you know one way or the other. If you are looking for a consultation, not representation, or you can't get representation for whatever reason, or it's a non-representational type of issue you need to review, you are more than welcome to order a prepaid consultation. It will be with me personally, and that link is on that same page, joydisability.com, but over on the upper right. Anyway, thanks for staying tuned, and I hope to see you every day, 9 a.m. with our little video shares or live Q&A if you want to join me live on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.